Hey there boys and girls, Lucky here and welcome back to another CSGO video. Today we're going to talk about how to improve your reaction time and why your reaction time might not be as bad as you think it is. Alrighty, so improving reaction time is probably of the most frequently asked questions that I receive each day. Now, before we get into it, we have to first talk a little bit about reaction time and how it works. So, first of all, there are basically three types of reaction times, and usually when you're talking about reaction time, you're talking about the one which is reacting to a visual stimulus, meaning that something you see and then you react to it, which is about 250 milliseconds on average for humans. Now, you also have a audio stimulus, so if you hear something and react to that, that's faster. So the average for that is about 170 milliseconds, and the fastest is being touched, so I think it's about just 100 milliseconds or 80 milliseconds, which it takes you to actually react to being touched and then realize, oh, someone touched me. I feel offended now. So there's that. Something that you want to keep in mind is that reaction time is mostly genetic, so it's very hard to actually improve it, especially since we have a mostly set reaction time for, well, us as human beings. So the fastest reaction time ever recorded to a visual stimulus is actually 100 milliseconds, which is extremely fast, and most people are not actually able to do that. For my case, I'm just slightly below 200 milliseconds when it comes to reacting to something. And again, you can use a test on the CSGO test that I recently linked for you guys in order to check your reaction time as well. Reaction time, as I said before, is mostly genetic, so it's very hard to train. However, there are a couple of things that actually will help you to get better with your reaction time, and a couple of things that will actually make your reaction time worse that you most likely are unaware of. So the first thing that will probably make you worse when you're trying to actually record your reaction time or test it is zoning out. Sometimes you just enter the state of zoning out, where you just stare at a point, and actually by doing that, you're not properly concentrating, you're not focused anymore, and this means your reaction time is most likely going to be higher because you're kind of drifting off with your thoughts and stuff like that. So this is the first thing. So make sure you're actually in the zone. You're not trying to hit the task by rhythm or something like that, but just in general, properly react to it. There also has been a trend recently of the average reaction time going up due to touch displays. Usually, as I said before, we had about 250 millisecond-ish reaction time on average across humans. Touch displays, they have a little bit of a higher delay compared to like a mouse or something like that, or just anything that would happen in real life, meaning that you kind of get used to that if you've like grown up with touch displays and stuff like that, which can slightly increase your reaction time. Of course, as I said before, it's mostly genetic, so these kind of things are not something that you cannot influence, so you can actually influence those things. But how do you do that? Well, first of all, I have a video on pretty much the same topic linked in the description down below that you can check out, which is basically talking mostly about the method of wiggling your crosshair slightly in just tight spaces in order to not zone out. So just by being actively using or just like ADing, you keep refreshing the image on the screen, and you keep like refreshing your memory with it, and you keep staying in the zone without zoning out actually. So this definitely helps a lot. So definitely also make sure to check out that video linked, as I said before, in the description down below. Now another thing that also helps, besides just playing video games, is that usually people are good in sports or like doing lots of sports, like taking gymnastics and stuff or whatever and whatnot, and like all ball sports like football and soccer and whatnot. Those people or humans are also usually better when it comes to reacting fast, so meaning they have a better reaction time. So if you're really extremely serious about that, not simply esports but just normal sports in general should definitely help you with that as well. Now, again, it mostly comes down to what you're used to. So the main factor here is that you're kind of handicapped, or you're kind of capped by your genetics. So for example, people that are taller also have a slow reaction time, just because the actual distance that is being traveled through like the nervous system is longer than like what it would take a smaller person to. Of course, those are just like tiny milliseconds. However, once again, if you're completely serious, those will also affect you to some degree. But again, it's, to be honest, not that big of a deal. So make sure that you're actually trying, make sure you're well hydrated, make sure you got enough sleep. If you're tired, your reaction time will naturally go up, which again will give you a harder time while being in game. And last but not least, do not stress yourself too much, especially not about your rank or about losing. It's just a game. Whenever you're trying to try hard too hard, you're just kind of giving yourself another handicap kind of, because instead of just simply reacting to it, you're kind of caught up in your thoughts and you're like, oh my god, he's there, what, should I shoot him, should I retreat? You're kind of overthinking and that's another issue which kind of will make you think that your reaction time is bad, when in reality you're just giving yourself too much stress. So yeah, these were my couple of tips for improving your reaction time. Make sure to also check out the other video, linked in the description down below. But I think it's pretty much all for now, so I hope you enjoyed it, and luckySkillFaker out.